been on?
Yeah.
Cowboy. So how you like it so far, big guy?
I've been having a killer time getting killed out there in the gym. It's been good. I enjoy training hard. It sucks at the moment, but you always feel so much better. You feel confident. You feel ready to go.
So like you just came off. You came in second at Worlds. Like that's a huge deal. That's big time. Do you think some of these things allowed you to be successful in that?
Absolutely. I feel like training for me has been like my foundation my whole career. Like with my dad, starting with my dad, like he didn't grow up riding bulls or anything, so he grew up training me, like physically getting prepared, and that helped my mental side, and it helps your physical side with all the moves and takes and all the strain your body takes. So, you know, getting to implement that at a higher level now with guys that know different parts and areas of your body that needs to be worked more definitely increases not only the success factor but the longevity factor throughout the season.
100%. So I was like, I seen you at finals, right? You had just got your first 90 plus ride. I want to say it was 90. What was your first ride? 90.75?
91.
91. My bad, bro. My bad. And you were kind of walking around the arena. It wasn't like you were wide-eyed. You were just locked in. And I kind of said, bro, you just rode a 91 at the World Finals. Like, take that in. Take that in. Where were you at mentally at that moment?
At that moment, see, that was a second round, and so instead of 6 rounds for the World Finals, we had 5 total this year. And, you know, I was happy. I've always dreamed of that, and, you know, every year before that, it's like, what do I got to do to get a 90? But at that moment, yeah, I was excited deep down, but my mind was where the Mamba mentality was. Job's not finished. It's not time to celebrate yet. I still got 3 more bulls to get on. So yeah, I was ready to just, you know, take it all in, be like, heck yeah. But I just remembered that moment and then knew that my job's not finished yet. I still got more bulls ahead of me. I can't celebrate too early.
So you got a 93. What was your highest ride?
Yeah, 93 3/4.
93 3/4 at World Finals. I want to say, was that your last ride or 4th ride?
That was the last ride.
How sick. That's like a walk-off. A 93 3/4 walk-off World Finals, looking to actually win the whole thing. Like, how was that? Just, you know, you're young, 2018 Rookie of the Year. A lot of the hard work paid off, locked in, like a walk-off 93 3/4. Like, tell me.
For me, like, I've been on that bull before already. So, like, I knew what he was about. And a lot of the time, especially in that going in that short round and knowing the bull that you have and knowing the type he is, because for him, he's very rider-friendly, very showy kind of deal. You know, some guys can get ahead of themselves. So before that whole deal, there was only one other factor that was playing my mind, and that was because Ryan Dirt Eater was retiring, and he's like one of my good friends, and he was getting on the other bull in the World Championship race. And I came up to him, I gave him a fist bump, and I said, let's do this. And right there, and I was locked in, ready to go. I kept my mind clear. I knew exactly what I was doing. I had Stetson Lawrence right there behind me, ready, you know, pulling my rope. And all that mattered at that point in time was then and there. And that's it. Like, being able to key in on what I needed to do. It doesn't matter who's ahead of me or who's behind me, what this bull is or does or nothing. It's just staying in the middle. And be able to cover that bull for that amount of points is something a kid that starts riding and that dreams of being in the PBR, that's all they ever want. So being able to be 93 3/4, especially at the World Finals, like,
big time.
I usually, you know, I get somewhat excited, but there, I never throw my stuff. I never
That's the first time now you were like, I can let go a little bit.
Yeah, I was super hyped. Like, I was ready to I was like, let's go. And right there, that's the moments you'll never forget. That's something, a memory that nobody can ever take away from you. That's something that you hold on to and you cherish your whole life. That's more than any buckle, you know, or anything. And those rides, the more you have of them, the more you cherish them, because once that ride's passed, that's all you have is that memory. So that's why I love those moments so much.
Just collecting those moments and making the most out of those opportunities. Well, you were able to come in second. So I'm actually going to segue a little bit back into the training a little bit, because I think sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle. There was something that I noticed about your 93 1/4 ride, something specific as far as training that you did well on that 93 1/4 ride. Were you a little shocked that I knew so much about your ride and what helped you be successful, and then to be able to come up with a specific exercise that allowed you to go through that modality? I'm curious.
Yeah, I as time went on, we did start doing different exercises. I kind of noticed that it was, and then you kind of mentioned it slightly, and I was like, this seems like part of basically the ride that I went through, and being able to create that exercise for it. I mean, the stronger you get in that area, the better. And the more better you get in that area, you're going to be solid and more solid and more solid. You're going to stay locked in. You're going to stay keyed in. So yeah, like I was a little shocked, but then also it's like he knows his stuff. So.
And I didn't understand. Like, I didn't know if that moment it was you and Jesus. It was how strong you were. Just so locked in at that particular moment. It was almost like I seen your muscles busting through the shirt, and you just were not letting go, and you were just so strong and being able to put that hand in. So for me to be able to, this is the second year you've come out, to have you be a part of the SBC and kind of go through our training, it's definitely a blessing to have you down here, and then to also see some of the hard work pay off, not only from the training aspect of it, but I know you put a lot of work in on your own as far as bucking bulls, and you actually have your own arena. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like I have my own arena at the house now, and finally got really set up the way I wanted it ever since I was a kid. I would remember when I was in 3rd, 4th grade, I'd be in school, passing my classes and whatnot, but when there was free time, I would draw things I wanted. So like if there was a rodeo that weekend, I'd draw a buckle with wherever it was and the state champion with my name on it or whatever. And when I was younger, I drew an arena, and I said, this is exactly the way I want it set up, because this is exactly how it should be for practicing. And this year I was finally able to get that set up at my house, and it's the exact setup that I drew when I was little.
Wow.
And I told myself, like, now this is everything collected. You have a gym at your house, you have the people and the connections that to help you train. You have the bulls at your house that no matter what, if you're riding bad or you're riding good, you can stay sharp or you can get better, So to be able to have all this collected, it shows. It really shows, because at home you can go somewhere else to get on, which is great. That's how it always was for me, to go somewhere else and get on somebody else's bulls. But to have that at the house, it allows you to kind of be in your own different mindset a little bit. Like, you don't have to worry about somebody else's bulls or anything.
This is the one thing about sport, and I don't care what sport you're in, and I always tell my athletes, like, there's a such thing as a good selfish and bad selfish. And when you're able to find that balance of the good selfish, then you're not worried about what other people are thinking or being by yourself at times. Because at the end of the day, it's all about competition, and you're trying to what? Separate yourself.
Yep.
But everybody wants to attach themselves to something or ride someone's coattails. But if you're at the highest profession, it's about separation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of guys will tell you, we're here to win and all that, which is true. And then also a lot of guys say we're not here to go against somebody else. We're here against the bull. But in reality, it's still a competition sport. There still says first to last. So you're still competing against each other as well. And, for me, I've always been kind of that guy that's always been by himself. Like, it was always just me and my dad. That's it. For a long time. So for me to have my own space to train alone, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me to the level of some other guys who always had their friends over and stuff. For me, when I'm by myself and I train by myself, that's where I find my strength, because I'm able to key in on different things. I'm able to visualize on different things. I'm able to push myself harder and focus on myself than focus on somebody else, And And then when I do visualize certain things in a certain way of like how I should position myself when I get in this spot on a bull, then that's what it clicks in there. And when I ride, then it clicks when I ride. And it's just like a different feeling in a different way versus like whenever I train with somebody, it's just doing the normal things, you know, okay, you get to the front, whatever. There's no imagination. Because that's what it really is when it's just like basketball, football, you imagine stuff, you imagine going down the court. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's the same way.
But you don't see, when you're trying to be at your best, it's not like, I'm not trying to see myself with others.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see the best version of myself, of what I have envisioned.
Exactly.
And to be able to watch that come to fruition. So it's definitely, I believe in that wholeheartedly, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the support system needs to be there, but there's always that point in time where you got to separate yourself too from even your support. Say, hey, this is my time just to key in on myself completely. I feel like that's a big thing.
100%. So listen, man, we're about to buck bulls here. We're about 10-15 minutes away from the PBR SBC. We got a couple amateurs that are about to get on some bulls, and I want to know what are some advice for people that aspire to get on the Velocity Tour, to get on the UTB Tour, and be at the highest level, because there's a lot of great athletes out there. Yourself, Jeslock, Jose, like there's some legit people out there, legit athletes, and obviously some legit bulls. And it's a hard sport to kind of break that threshold of making it to the elite and the top. What are some advice you can give to someone that aspires to be at that level?
The number one thing I give anybody that hasn't made it, and especially ones that are kind of searching, is the number one I say is believe. Like a belief like no other. Like when you go and brush your teeth, you don't question how you brush your teeth. You know how to brush your teeth. It's like that belief that no matter what, you're gonna make it. Because once you have that type of belief, it doesn't matter what obstacles in front of you. It doesn't matter how hard the training is. You're gonna make it, because you're not gonna accept anything else other than that. Other than that, it's obviously putting in that work. A lot of these guys, they'll put in a work for a day, they'll put in a work for a week or a month, but they're not willing to go that
every day.
Yeah, every single day. They're not willing to be okay feeling uncomfortable. You got to understand that. You got to be comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, because there's going to be a lot of times, especially when you get on, that you're not going to be the most comfortable on the back of a bull, but you got to be okay with that. So a lot of times is the belief, the training, and then also like the discipline. Like discipline, there's a lot of guys, especially like us, and especially in pro athletes, we're all young. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we all want to have fun. We're young, and you're young guys. You just want to hang out with your buddies, do whatever. But if you're disciplined enough, you got to understand there's going to be time for that. It's going to be okay. I got to do what I got to do for myself. And that goes back to like that good selfishness. Yeah, so what, your friends making fun of you because you're not hanging out. So what? They're mad at you because you can't, go out.
Those are the ones that drop off.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are not doing, honestly, they're not doing what you're doing, and they're actually kind of wishing they could do what you do.
Yep.
But they fall off because they don't have that discipline.
Yep.
They fall off because they don't have that attention to detail and that consistency, and that is where that separation kind of comes in. When you find, that's why it's very few and far between of the people who, I don't know, honestly, you can surround yourself with.
And I feel like that discipline like that's that love that you have for yourself, like, because you're taking care of yourself. Like people say, like, I want to take care of myself. I want to, be good. Well, it's not gonna, you're not taking care of yourself if you're saying, oh, I'm just gonna forget about all this that could help me, all this that could provide for my future. That's not self-love. That's not taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is saying, hey, I'm willing to put all these distractions aside for here, right now, so then when it comes time for my turn to be successful, I'm ready.